Greetings, it's Chappers, and today I thought I'd tell you all about how I prepare to either go on tour or play a festival or play a gig. Essentially, from day to day, I am a father of two, husband, chef, cook all the meals. I do marketing for Chapman guitars, and I have lots of jobs and things to do. And what that means is it's quite difficult to stay on top of my live performance. And then when my label phones up and says, well, you got a week's tour and you got a festival and these things, you've got to go and play live, I get nervous and panicky and worried that I haven't played live. Well, in this situation right now, because of the plague, I haven't played live for about a year and 2 months, something like that. I thought it might be useful for you if I was to talk you through how I prepare to play live. I've always had the same method, and I've refined it over time because to begin with, I didn't really do it well, didn't give myself enough time at all. And I would jump on tour, lose my voice, wouldn't be playing the parts appropriately, and I've refined my method. Anyway, so this is what I do. To begin with, it's important to set up everything around you exactly as it will be when you're playing live. I mean, to the best of your ability. So for example, on the floor, I have my pedal board with roughly what I'm going to be using, albeit that I've got slightly different gear in England than I have in Malta, and I probably won't be flying over a tour rig. And then here, I have a microphone so that I'm not just strumming and singing to the air, I am practicing through a microphone with a PA, because it's a completely different animal. If you get used to singing through a microphone, you back off, you don't blow your voice, you're learning mic skills, placement around the mic, making it sound different, and also physical navigation. That sounds crazy, but I've got this guitar in the way, and I'm playing and I'm performing, and then I've got to stand on a pedal, and then I need to interact with the bassist, and then I've got to talk to the drummer and the audience, and it's a physical object. It can get in the way, and sometimes it's fun to use it as a bit of a slide. It used to be risky back in Wiltshire when I was a kid, but it's useful to become familiar with using a mic stand and a microphone and a PA. It's best to have the PA and the amplifier behind you so that it kind of replicates the feeling of having the band behind you. And I go one further and say it's even better to have a wedge in front of you. If you can get one of those Boss wedges or something like that, it's cool. Otherwise, just as much as possible, make it feel like it's the same setup that you would have live. Now, to begin with, what I would do, because I'm definitely rusty with my set, because like I said, I don't have a lot of time to run it through on a daily basis, I would mark out the tunes. So marking out a tune would mean something like, if you're familiar with the track Flash Flood from Clockwork Wolf and Company, I would, so I'd start off with the intro. I'm just playing the basic rudiments, the chords, nothing flashy. I'm not trying to add anything, live into it. I'm just literally playing the roots of the song. Just even sometimes just the chord. And of course, I'm standing up the whole time. There's no sitting down live unless you sit down to play something because it's part of your act. I would always stand up. And if you don't, big mistake. If you get tired, stay stood up. Otherwise, you're going to build bad habits and it's going to be nothing but a nightmare for you. The next thing is if you sing and you play at the same time, from my experience, it's really important to bring the vocal in straight away. Don't just learn the guitar again and go over the guitar parts and then go, right, now I can remember the solo, I'll start singing. You want to be straight away. This is going to sound rough as a badger's ass, but you want to be. Don't use the pump if the well is dry. You want to mark out the song as you go. So I'm not playing it to a click, I'm not playing it to the track, which I will run later. I'm just playing through the song, kind of like an acoustic performance. And I'm not thinking about performing well, I'm not thinking about singing great, I'm just playing the tune. And then I have a rule, which is every song, every day, twice a day. So if I'm doing Flash Flood, I run it through twice. Then I move on to the next track, which would be Old for New. I do it twice, because the thing is, if you just run the set, you don't really get familiar with the tracks enough, I find. So I would run each song twice, every single day if possible. And if I'm not in the studio, when I'm at home, I've got a little tiny practice amp, and I would probably either sit or stand in my bedroom and just run them through. You have to just repetition, repetition, repetition. Anyway, when I've run that through and marked out the songs, and I've done that for about a week, so I'm familiar with the structure, it starts to become spinal nerve second nature, then the next thing is through a PA or any kind of method of playing the track, I would run a backing track. I don't know what any of that does. And that way you're working to the drummer, and it's really the drums that are the key element, because you want to be working on your timing. Now that the structure is right, you want to start working on the performance elements and that kind of thing. So I would bring in the drums through a PA, and I would be literally imagining I'm playing live. I'm imagining the audience in front of me. Everything is the same. I'd have all the guitars with the various tunings that I use. I would have picks stuck to the stand. It would be identical to how I would have the stage struck for live. And I would run the set until I'm bored. That's the key. When you're bored, it's because you know it inside out and you're just so familiar, you start thinking about other stuff. When I'm at that point, I know I'm ready to go and play live. And before I reach boredom, I am not ready to play live. And it takes me a couple of weeks to get to that point. And because some of the singing in Clockwork Wolf and Company is pretty high, and it's belting and there's vocal heat, you need to work up to that. You can't just jump into it unless you're someone like Phil X or whatever. I can't. I have to warm up and strengthen my vocals to be able to perform that way. And so I need 2 to 3 weeks head time before I can go and perform, especially on a tour, when you're going to be taking, wear and not sleeping enough and getting drunk and stuff. Probably, I hope. So anyway, I'm at Black Deer Festival, 25th to 27th of June. It's an amazing looking festival with some really cool artists playing there, and you really want to go check out who's playing, because there are some incredible artists as well as Clockwork Wolf and Company. In fact, it looks like this. So yeah, that's a cool thing to go and do. And I'm excited to say that we've also got a tour coming up later this year. I'll give you dates and locations and things, and I'm excited to meet as many of you as is humanly possible when we get back on the road and start enjoying life on the tarmac. Something else that can be useful is to work on the vocal and the rhythm as one thing, like a partnership, by breaking the song down into a non-rhythmical, step-by-step kind of Lego building exercise. So for example, and I put this mic on a moving part, which is really silly, but like, I don't know. Times like these are hard to face alone. Times like these are hard to face. Oh, long way to fall. Long way to fall. Long way to fall. It's a long way to fall. So if I get to a part that's particularly challenging on the guitar, I'm slowing it down so that I can process vocally and guitarally what it is that I have to do, until eventually it just becomes it becomes second nature. But I got there by breaking it down to the component parts and not feeling restricted by the rhythm, which I think is something that really helps get you there quicker. Have a great day. Chappers out.